Now in this one I have an x squared, but that 3x isn't very helpful. It's not a square. So again, I'm going to need to complete the square, and keep in mind that when I'm completing the square, I don't want to have any coefficient on my x squared other than a positive 1. So I'm going to pull that out of both terms, and I'll leave room for the mystery number, and then I'll have to subtract that mystery number as well. And of course, if I take -3, the b value, divide by 2 and square it, I get 9/4. But what I really just added was a -9/4, because it's inside parentheses, so the negative goes with it. So I'm going to need to subtract a -9/4 on the outside. And so now the parentheses turns into x minus 3/2 squared, and then I'm going to have a plus 9/4. So now when I rewrite this, I'm going to put it so that it's a subtraction. So I've got 9/4 minus x minus 3/2 squared. Of course, the boundaries are still the same, but I'd like to know who those are the perfect squares. And I note that the first one is the perfect square of 3/2, and that's my constant, so that's a. And then the x minus 3/2 is the variable piece, so that's u. I usually try to make a little note so that I remember. And then when I look back up to the formulas, I go, oh, if it's a squared minus u squared, it's an arc sine. So using my formula, this would be arc sine of u over a, but u is the x minus 3/2, that's the variable piece, over the constant. And I'm evaluating from 3/2 to 9/4. So now I'm going to substitute those in and subtract. So substituting my numbers in, it looks like that. Keep in mind that 3/2 is really 6/4. So I'm doing arc sine of 3/4 over 2, just kidding, 2/3. No, 3/2. And then minus arc sine, this one down here will give me 0. So 0 over 3/2. And on that first one, of course, I can multiply top and bottom by 2 to make the denominator go away. Actually, let's multiply by 2/3 to get rid of the whole fraction. Even better idea, I know, right? So now on top, I'm going to have just 1/2 left. So I want a sine an angle whose sine is 1/2. Remember, I'm using principal values, and that's going to simplify to 0. So I want an angle whose sine is 0, and the sine of 1/2 would be pi over 6, and the sine of 0 would be 0. So there's my final answer. Impressive, huh? I would suggest that you do that problem on another piece of paper again, just to get your head wrapped around it.